We're at the Cornerstone Library today to give a public update on where we're heading in terms of the interventions. We're currently looking at refining the timescales, but we do envisage that some of the early interventions will be delivered commencing in 2024, early 25. It's very much likely at the minute that our focus will be around the terrace by the Harbour Hotel and out at the Zena Junction, as well as a variable message sign out on the A30 which will aim to promote the St Earth multimodal hub as an option to travel into St Ives. After that, we're currently refining the delivery with Cormac, but we very much expect to move within the town and start to pick off various of the interventions, which we'll publicise updates for throughout early part of the new year. So this first board identifies several of the interventions that we're considering for the town. This includes the smart cameras that we're looking to install at various sites and locations within the town. These cameras enable us to gather real-time data and be able to make assessment and also post-scheme monitoring and evaluation to see the effectiveness of what we've implemented. Variable message signs give a bit of an update. These dynamic signs again provide real-time information to visitors, residents and the wider community in respect to parking availability within the town itself. And in regards to car parks, we are considering the change of the island car park to permit only. This will remove a considerable draw to visitor traffic through the core of the town. However, it does also mean that there is reduced availability for visitor parking, and we're looking at measures in which and ways in which we can address some of that change. In regards to the car parking situation, there's no decisions that have been made whatsoever. We're in regular conversation with the current resident permit holders in and around Barnoon, and we're hoping to find a solution that works for the strategy but works for the resident community as well. Following our previous engagement back in the autumn of last year, it became very apparent that some of the proposals were not landing well with the residents at Hallstown. The potential adaptations that we're looking to promote the use of the old coach road mean that there could be an increase of around 500 vehicles a day through the village. To try and combat and mitigate some of that impact, we've listened hard to the community and have come up with measures that we hope will address some of their principal concerns, especially regarding vehicular speeds. We do hope that our engagement with that community will allow us to find a solution that they can support. So in respect to the terrace, we're looking at realigning the carriageway and making it feel more inconvenient to travel down towards the Malakoff and the bus station. What we really want to do is promote visitors, especially to go up to Trenwith through Albert Road. In respect to the Zena Junction, to help the flow of traffic more, we're looking at changing the priority around the junction. This will give a better flow through that section of town as they enter the Stenick. In terms of Lower Stenick, we're looking at its integration with the Park Avenue car park and trying to come up with a rearrangement of that junction that directs people away from the core of the town. In respect to the station, the measures here will look to efficiently direct people to where their end destination is within the town itself. In respect to the Malakoff, at the minute there's very limited bus waiting provision. We're hoping to revamp the gardens itself, being very mindful of its historic setting and also provide better waiting facilities for those wishing to use the bus. Again, in respect to Royal Square and Library Corner, it's a key arrival point for the town. Currently, its aesthetic is not the most welcoming. We hope through our proposals we'll be able to enhance the public realm and quality of the arrival. Obviously, what we want to make sure of is that we can keep its operability as it currently exists. Given the sensitivity of this part of the town, Cormac is still looking to refine their delivery strategy. Currently, we expect this to be one of the latter interventions, which means that it will be delivered at end of 2025 or early 2026. Previously, we engaged on our proposals that included rising bollards to control traffic. This didn't land well with the community, but the principle of creating a low traffic environment was broadly supported. Instead, we're looking at a sign-only seasonal restriction that will limit those that don't have the need to access the town, whereas residents, businesses and other members of the community can still freely access without restriction. Again, we're very constrained in St Ives, especially during the summer season. At the minute, Cormat are still refining their delivery strategy, but we anticipate this to go into implementation at the end of 2025 and early 2026. As we've come to learn, the traffic management situation that currently exists around Library Corner and up at Tregenna Hill can cause conflict between motor vehicles and other users. It's a very constrained and challenging space. We're working very hard at the minute to understand what technical solution we may be able to apply. Previously, we looked at a one-way system. However, that one-way system had a major impact on buses, emergency services and some lifeboat crew. At the minute, we're still refining the technical and operational considerations for a solution that would control traffic, but we're indicating some form of traffic light control. Because of the sheer volume of traffic that ends up at this part of town, we really have to understand the performance of our wider measures before the Highways Authority can commit to the proposal. To this end, we do expect this to go outside of the current town deal funding window of March 2026, but we have a commitment from Cornwall that if we can iron out any of the technical challenges, then this will be implemented at the end of the summer 2026. Our message is definitely one that should be taken positively. We are making a start. We have interventions lined up that will make a difference to St Ives. There are still technical challenges and several stakeholders that we must bring on board our journey of development with this strategy, but we feel confident that we're making good steps in addressing concerns to be able to move forward positively throughout 2025 with its delivery.
Obviously, you aim high as possible to have the most impact and create the best for St Ives, and then generally I'm pretty pleased with what's happening. I think it's a really hard nut to crack, dealing with traffic in St Ives and dealing with the way people live in St Ives and where they live. And making sure, we're on a peninsula, there's one way in and one way out. It's a really difficult place to deal with. So I'm broadly pleased with it. I think it's a really good step in a good direction. And yeah, let's see what the public response is to it this time around.